Disclaimer. We are not professionals. We are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence and enjoy the video.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another VV Vision video. Today, we've got a lot to talk about, but I want to start by thanking everybody subscribed, everybody liking, commenting, helping out the YouTube algorithm. And I also want to give a special shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you so much.
Let's go. Special shout out to two random Patreon members. We're going to be shouting out Alex Miller and Jayco. Thank you guys so much. Jayco is the first Patreon member. Alex Miller is always in the comments. Let's go. Thank you for everybody commenting, liking the videos, and everybody subscribed. We're going to be talking about the price predictions, and we're going to be talking about DC Comics and some other things. So we see the Black and White Series 6 is dropping tomorrow. And if we scroll down, what do we see if we scroll down? We go to the bottom and we see that the 6% licensor fee is going to be applied to all secondary market sales for DC Direct releases moving forward. So no previous DC releases are going to be having that 6% fee. It's only things moving forward. So this is going to be the first drop with this 6% added fee. So it's just like Marvel. And why do you think they're adding this? So I think if we go over to the most expensive comics, we can see some DC comics. And I think they're going to be getting DC comics relatively soon because we've already been hinted that DC comics are coming. And now this is the next step forward, is getting that extra fee, because DC isn't going to let VV release all their comics with Marvel getting a 6% fee every transaction, because Marvel is making that 6% every single time there's a transaction, and DC isn't making anything. So it only makes sense to add this 6% fee to DC before comics get released. So I do think comics can be coming relatively soon. If we check the top 20 most expensive comics, we got Action Comics #1, which is made by DC, sold for $3.2 million for the 9-point grade. And if we look at the 8.5 grade, sold for $1.5 million in the same Action Comics #1. So the top two spots are actually DC Comics. Next one is going to be the Marvel Comics Amazing Fantasy, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man. So we do have the Marvel one already in the app. We don't have this exact comic. Can't wait for that to come. We got a little teaser from it about a week ago from David Yu in the Comics and Crypto podcast. But number 4, Detective Comics, which is another DC Comics, sold for $1,075 million. I can't, that's definitely a typo. It meant to say 1.075 million. But then the 5th spot is another DC Comics, the All-Star Comics. And then number 6 is another DC Comics, Batman #1, first appearance of Batman. We have the X-Men #1 for 7, which is Marvel. And then we have the Flash Comics #1 for the 8th spot, which is DC. Once again, so more DC comics are in these top places. So what are you thinking about DC Comics coming?
I mean, I'm excited to see other comics in general. I'm also really excited to see some smaller artist comics too, and just kind of, I don't know, expand that in general. I know they kind of tease, what is it, the Petite Prince. And then I'm also excited to maybe see like some Jim Food, the Girl Scout cookies, those comics or whatever. But DC, I think, is going to be a big one, especially given like the list we just showed, how expensive all of those are. And yeah, I'm really excited. Also, the Todd Mac, the OG Todd Mac Batman, that is the first appearance collectible on the VV app. I'm really excited to see that comic come to VV. So yeah, I think it's really cool, and I think it makes sense. And DC is just trying to be a little more competitive, just because Marvel definitely was making more money considering they were getting that extra percentage. So I think it makes sense. It's also kind of interesting that it's only moving forward, and they didn't do it like retroactively or whatever, making like Joe Mad, Becky Cloonan, all of the Batmans that have already been released added, because that's what I originally thought. And I was kind of, I don't know, bummed a little bit, but I
definitely agree. I would have been pretty upset too if they added that 6% to the previous stuff, even though we already bought those. But I'm glad to see that they didn't do that, and it's only the things moving forward. So we have these 4 drops coming tomorrow. It's the Batman Black and White Series 6 drop, and it looks like they increased the editions on almost all of them. I think these actually might be the same amount of editions as the Series 5. So I mean, since then, we've, I guess, had around the same, but this is going to be the first drop that we're actually going for each individual collectible compared to the blind box, because we've been seeing blind box pretty much every drop for how long?
Yeah, a long time. I don't know. I feel like it's been a couple months at least, but I also want to note about this drop that the quality and the detail on these specific collectibles looks better. I don't know. It just, in general, things just look a little crispier. They look a little more detailed. And like they've been kind of like finished or worked on a little more. So I'm really liking that. and I'm excited to see what they look like in the app. Not to like, I'm not hating on the old ones at all. I still love the old ones, but these just look like they have more detail, or like, I don't know, they stand out a little more. Maybe it's just the way they're presented, but I thought that was something to note. But I am really excited for these.
For price predictions, we're thinking maybe this one possibly, I don't know, it's a Batman, so I feel like it's got to sell out. Like there are a lot of Batmans on the app already, and it's 40. I don't know. Could sell out, could not. But since it might not sell out, we're thinking it could not because it's not a blind box. And for blind box, people are usually trying to get that higher rarity. Since it's not a blind box, it might sit in the market for a couple hours, 2-3 hours. And for aftermarket, we're thinking maybe sitting around 28 gems, depending on how many sell. Because if a bunch of them don't sell, then maybe they won't drop too much. If they sell out instantly, it's probably going to drop a little bit further.
Yeah.
But
I think mostly everybody, I think, is looking to make some profit off these. And if they sell out, like Carter said, I don't think they're going to be going for profit, just because I don't think there's like 16,000 people looking to buy this Jim Lee Batman. Just because I think if people were to pick up a Batman, there's like Jason Fabic, Darwin Cook, other options that I feel like are a little more popular already.
Yeah, if we go over to Ecomi WIKI, we can see the Darwin Cook Batman is the cheapest Batman you can buy with 9,000 editions at $80. So this might drop a little bit once these new Batmans come out, and might happen a little bit with all the Batmans, honestly. Maybe Todd Mack in the first set will probably keep its value. Probably won't move like at all, actually. So I don't know. But it honestly could increase though, because there will be more people, more Batman fans that are probably going to be going for this drop, and maybe we'll even hear about this drop, especially if DC retweets their stuff and anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, all speculation. It could go the other way too, that people think this looks better compared to some other alternatives in the app, and maybe they buy it. But I just think there's so many mints, and that a lot of people are trying to make profit, that the price, if it sells out, will probably be sitting below retail, like Carter said. Probably around 30, somewhere in there. But yeah.
Yes, sir. So we're thinking 28 to 32 for this. We're thinking for the uncommon 42 to 48. We're thinking for the rare around 70 gems, so that above retail for that one. And then for the last one, the ultra, we're thinking 140 to 150. And for the uncommon, we want to point out that this used to be a loading screen for Veve. Now it's the common Spider-Man, which is the loading screen now. But this actually used to be the loading screen. So I mean, this one
that matters to anybody. I know a lot of people like to make arguments like that, and we've seen the common Spider-Man kind of take off, probably partially in response to that. So
yeah, I do think there will be a little bit of buying pressure just from people coming out and saying this was the OG and stuff. In the long run, I don't think it's going to matter too much. There's going to be more loading screens, but I do think it is cool, and I like this pose. So
yeah, that one's definitely a nice collectible. All of these are really nice.
Pick it up aftermarket, honestly, just because I mean it is that old loading screen, and I remember seeing it, and I think it's cool just because I could probably use it in some little clip acting like he's sliding towards me or something, I don't know. I think it's cool. But and for only, I mean, they're not too expensive. Nothing crazy. For the rare, we can see this one is personally my favorite. What about you? What one's your favorite out of all of them?
It's definitely a tie between, I don't know. I really like the uncommon, the rare, and the ultra rare. They're all really cool. I would say that one probably in terms of how unique it is, but the detail on the ultra rare definitely stands out to me. Yeah. And I don't know. I just kind of, that one, it's really hard for me to tell. I honestly like all of these. I just don't know if I'll be picking them up if they're above retail, but I will be going for them on drop.
Yes, sir. We're now going to be moving over from the DC stuff to the Coca-Cola. Ben has not seen the Coca-Cola drop, so let's go. Oh, don't look.
Don't show me. No.
So right before this, everybody in the comments, say what your favorite collectible is from the DC, and also say if you guys are hyped for the DC comics. Let's go. Super hyped to see those. The next thing, though, the Coca-Cola. So we see animated on all of these. All of these are animated. I don't know what this is going to be. I'm guessing it's going to have the noise or something like the typical.
I'm guessing it's noise. That little like aura. Oh my God.
Oh, it's probably
Aurora Borealis type lights. I feel like those little lights right there is just, like you said, going to spin around it or something.
The next one, kind of cool. I like this one. I don't know about you, but I think this one's actually really cool. Starlight Orb. So I feel like in AR, this one's probably going to be a little see-through, and I like the see-through stuff.
Yeah, I think that could be cool if the bubbles are animated and it has like a carbonation type animation, but I'm still not entirely sold on like owning a digital collectible can, but that's just me.
Yeah, this one's
I mean,
not
I know
a
this
can,
isn't
though,
a
dude.
can,
It's not a can.
but a drop of soda or something. Oh,
Yeah.
what is this?
This one is the Coca-Cola Creations footprint. So these, I think, have to do. Okay, let's check out the last one first to get a better idea. So this is the first can ever drank in outer space, like the first pop ever drank in
Interesting.
outer space. So yeah, that's the 1985 Coca-Cola space can. So that's
pretty
the
cool.
ultra rare, coming at 2,985 mints, and it's only $40 to go for the drop. So really not too bad, honestly. But
Yeah,
I'm wondering if this has something to do with the outer space too. We'll definitely we'll definitely check these out tomorrow and go over price predictions tomorrow. Go a little bit more in depth on these, but
What does the description say? Part of the Coca-Cola Creations limited sparkling beverages. Oh no, it doesn't really explain.
yeah. So we'll check these out tomorrow. Those are just some first looks. We have seen this before, but this is the 1985 Coca-Cola cans, which are in real life. But the Omi price, did want to take a little look at it. It's at 0.0026, so it's been falling. Try not to look at it too much, honestly, because it hasn't been doing too great, but I don't know, still hanging there. Haven't really done much with mine, but let's look over to the Recur drop, because the Recur did drop their first sneak peek of these starships. And I don't know if you guys are looking into them. Personally, I was a little interested, and now I'm starting to get uninterested, because
Yeah,
I was thinking these were 3D collectibles. I was in the live chat of the YouTube video. I was asking the mods if they were 2D or 3D, and they just completely ignored me. And then like other people in the chat started asking if they're 2D and 3D. They completely ignored them too. So like, I don't know. I was kind of confused about that.
Oh my god!
And it looks
love
like, and I thought originally that these starships were going to be designed specifically, like the one of ones were going to be the starship, but it looks like it's only the background that's going to be changed in between them. So 6 different kinds of starships, I think around 2,500 editions of each. And then the backgrounds are all different on them. But then also the ship, I guess, in game, which the game is coming out hopefully by the end of the year, is what they said. So
Yeah,
game isn't coming anytime soon. And we know
So-
VV is going to be coming out with games too. So I don't know. I'm personally not going to be going for it.
yeah, this is really interesting to me, and I don't know. This is why we said we would follow up, because face value, when we first saw they're dropping a game with Star Trek, one of one spaceships, all this stuff sounds so cool, and then you see it and it's randomized pictures of space with the same spaceship on it. I don't know. I don't see it as much of a competition anymore. I know it'll still be cool if you can, have some utility with it, and you could go mine some stuff and attack other ships, but I'm sure it's going to be a very simple click type of mission based game. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We'll definitely keep you guys updated, but yeah, the reveal, in my opinion, I didn't watch all of it, but based on this and the video that I saw, it's a little bit of a dud, and I don't view it as threatening, I guess, as I might have before. If they're going to develop some like AAA type Star Trek game,
Definitely
one of one NFTs and stuff. But
I was hoping for the best. I really did think it was going to be
Yeah.
a little cooler than it ended up coming out as, and maybe it ends up
Yeah,
being 3D,
but-
and you can look around, and maybe there's a little addition to each starship that is different. But
yeah, and at the same time, I also think that it's hard to assume that it would have been some crazy game if they were going to limit the number of players total to 20,000. So I feel like that kind of gave us a little something to work off. But yeah, we'll definitely have to keep you guys updated, because that is an interesting project and some nice competition nonetheless. But
yes,
yeah.
sir. Let us know in the comments down below which Batman you guys are going to be going for. If you guys are hyped for the DC Comics, if you guys are going for the Star Trek drop tomorrow, or maybe it's the next couple days tomorrow. I'm not sure.
I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. If you guys like the video, drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the little bell icon next to the subscribe button if you want to be notified whenever we post. This is Veve Vision, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Let's go. Omi homies. Let's go. Let's go, Omi homies. Let's go.